Hi, everyone. I know it's been a long time since I have come back to you. So, I just wanted to kind of touch bases about a few things. And number one is since I've come back to you, I've been doing like this health journey. And, I'm in water aerobics now. I've been doing it for quite some time. So I'm absolutely, well, since May. And I'm doing it now 5 times a week. And additionally, I have been doing more hair care, and I told you about that as well. I'm doing It Works, and that's pretty exciting. I'm also going to join this other couple programs that I want to try and then tell you if it works. So there is something I did buy because I was fascinated online on Facebook about when I saw it, and I said, oh, let me try it and see if it works. So there's this thing called tea, the green mask stick, right? So you put it on after you wash your face, you put it on, and it's supposedly it's put and it sit there for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and supposedly get all of the blackheads out and it makes your skin super, super smooth. Okay. So I tried it on and I'm going to say it does not work. Now, the only reason why I tried it is like it doesn't cost much, it's like $20. And don't waste your money. Doesn't work. It does nothing. It is a nothingness, absolutely nothingness project. And let me see. It doesn't smell like much. So you don't I'm trying to smell it again because I'm mixing because I can smell my other product, which does work very, very well, which is Bobbi Brown um, Hydrotic Face Tonic. Get into this. Don't buy this. Anywho, finally, since I'm here, I thought I'd do a little bit of, I guess I should do a movie review. I went to the movies and I've been going to the movies, I guess, maybe once a week because I did Fast and the Furious one week. Then the next week after that was Black Widow. The week after that was Space Jam. And then this week was Snake Eyes, or last Friday, but I went to the movies on Sunday. Snake Eyes was my movie. And so the main character is cool. He's a cool actor, but I didn't go to see him. I went to see the supporting actor, my man, Andrew. I think that's his name, Andrew. And let me tell you why. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna make sure that I'm getting this man's name right because when I tell you, did I get his name right? Andrew Koji. Okay, the main character is Henry Goling. That's the name of the actor. The supporting actor is Andrew Goji. There is a TV show that has 2 seasons called called Warrior. It's on HBO. HBO picked it up from another network, and so it's on there, HBO Plus. I can't remember the other network. Anyway, the second network that has HBO Plus is said that they're going to be doing season 3. So I am all in. And I've reviewed Warrior on this YouTube show, our YouTube show. Right? So you can go back and look it up. But it is he is so good in martial arts, like martial arts stunt. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he has to have some level of martial arts skill because you couldn't do this without even faking it. Um, his English is okay. I mean, Henry Golding definitely, his English is definitely, he doesn't have an accent, and so he plays an American. The thing about the movie that I think there's some cliche moments, and I don't want to fall into this cliche like just because you're Asian you have to be in these kind of films. I don't like that idea. But what I do like is the fact that there's considerable tension between um, an American and non-American. And so these are Japanese and a Japanese family, Japanese dynasty, and Japanese clan. And so it's a clan that's kind of interfighting. And I enjoy the fact that the main character, who's Snake Eyes, is an American. Not It's not if you are Japanese or Chinese. It is doesn't matter. You are American. Like that's what you are. And so it's not necessarily a bloodline per se. And granted, no, he's not a part of the bloodline. But my point is that I appreciate those kind of tensions because that tension does exist within um, uh, within certain communities, especially like immigrant communities, where part of the racism that goes towards Asians is that people see an Asian person and assume that they're not American. It's like, that's a horrible assumption. When you people come up to them and say, "So where are you from?" It's like, "What do you mean, where am I from? I'm from, you know, Brooklyn." Like, no one would come up to me and say, "Where are you from?" And assume that I'm from like a different continent. They would absolutely say, like, they assume that I'm American. And so, but for Asians, there's an assumption that you're not American, that you are indigenous to another country. And it's like, come on, bruh. Just because they're Asian doesn't mean that they're instantly an immigrant. So I appreciate that level of tension. And so so there's that. But yeah, there's some cheesy moments. I do like the fact that they took that they're the two token white women, and that's one on the bad side and one on the good side, is kind of comedy to me because I think like, did we need you? And they're very auxiliary. Like, I mean, absolutely auxiliary, and that's kind of humorous to me, and I'm sure it's intentional. This is very different from the other GI Joe movies in I think the last time we had a GI Joe movie was in the 90s or the early 2000s. You can look it up. Very, very, very different. Granted, I know that, I have no problems with saying Marlon Wayans was in the last GI Joe movie. I thought he was pretty good. I mean, people think of him as a comedian, and I don't think that he get as many roles as he should. He's a very decent actor. He's actually way better than Sean Wayans when it comes to acting. But when it comes to comedy, I mean, that's a whole different conversation. But when it comes to acting, I think he's a very, very well. I like Damon Wayans, but I mean, I think Sean. I mean, I think Marlon is up there. He plays some very different roles, and he played a nice little action hero role. Anywho, the GI Joe that he was in was pretty diverse, and it had diverse backgrounds, and it was much more American soldier base, which I think was much more based off of, because you have to remember that GI Joe is based on, they had the toy first, and then they had created a backstory to the toy. Snake Eyes, the toy came out before they put him in the comic. And Snake Eye toy came out by, how about we just make them all black? And so they just painted G.I. Joe black and called it Snake Eye. I mean, literally, watch the show, The Toys That Made Us. I mean, pretty it's pretty funny how they came up with Snake Eyes, and it became bigger than the original GI Joe toy. It sold more, and so thus they created Snake Eye within the comic. I'm gonna say the unpopular opinion. I did not really jump at the idea of having Snake Eye written this way, because I GI Joe is so it's so American military, and then to have an American military film, I mean toy, then comic, which is American flag, that's American blah blah blah. And then to have this movie come out that is absolutely like, yeah, Joes are American, but it's mostly, the whole thing is based in an Asian context. I was like, well, that's interesting and different. And then it's also even more problematic that you base this in Japan. Realizing the kind of historical context between Japan and China and Korea, and so it's so problematic. But whatever the case is, I mean, clearly they were looking for, you know, ratings and dollars, butts and seats and dollars, when they made this decision. But needless to say, this was a fabulous movie. It was such a good movie. Like, I mean, such a good movie. Move away the cheesiness, because there's some cheesy moments, but there were some fabulous um, moments that was so good. But if you haven't seen Warrior and you see Snake Eyes, that dude, go see. And I told my husband, like, watch Warrior. If you like Snake Eyes, go watch Warrior, because you are going to love that TV show. By the way, so since we talked about TV, I've been watching some stuff on Netflix, but I am still on the Apple TV Plus tour of finishing everything. Boy, it's I'm almost there. I'm 70% there. Anywho, um, TV show. TV show, Netflix. The Movies That Made Us is back, and they're doing 4 movies. And I've only watched 3 out of the 4. I skipped Pretty Woman. I'm gonna be honest. I remember when Pretty Woman came out. I did not see it in movie theaters. I really didn't want to see it. I was a kid, and I've seen it, but not in movies. Like, I mean, I didn't see the appeal, but I was a child, so therefore, I mean, and I love me some Richard Gere, but I didn't see the appeal in me watching, this movie. Anywho, but the first one's Back to the Future. The second one is Pretty Woman. I told you I didn't see it, so I am gonna watch it because why not? I mean, I saw the Dirty Dancing one. I'm not a big Dirty Dancing fan. Anywho, number that was in season one. Dirty Dancing was in season one. The third one was, I think, Jurassic Park. Put a pin on Jurassic Park. The way they talked about how this movie came out, I'm gonna say now I understand why Kathleen Kennedy got that job at Star Wars, even though she's not doing a good job at Star Wars, heading up the Star Wars stuff. I think she has done an excellent she has her job at Disney because of what she did with Jurassic Park. The woman did miracles. I mean, she was parting the Red Sea to get that movie out. So I think that was definitely a thing. I am just over the moon with what they did with Back to the Future. I just think that is fascinating. And they made that movie with a bare budget of like what, $12 million. Anywho, the last one was Forrest Gump. I did not go see Forrest Gump. I don't remember if I saw Forrest Gump in person or not, but I know that I watched it a bazillion and a million times on television when it came out on TV. And I thought, I mean, Forrest Gump is a captivating story. It is a warm-hearted story somehow. And isn't this funny? It was a black man who actually read the script and was like, I'm gonna give this life. And he's the one, if it wasn't for this black man, there would be no Forrest Gump. But and then Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks took a risk. He's like, I'm betting the chickens on this movie. I still can't get over Michael J. Fox wasn't the original dude who was supposed to. He wasn't originally cast for Back to the Future. I know they kicking the dude who I think his name is Eric. Is kicking him. See, I think his name is Eric. Michael J. Fox is a household name. Bruh, you missed your opportunity because you were being a hard nose, difficult to work with. See how people miss their blessings when you're difficult to work with? Anyhow, Michael J. Fox. Um, so I encourage you to watch the show. Such a good movie. And part of this stuff when it comes to movies and good movies is just chance. It's really chance. It's a gamble. All these sucky movies, because the guy who made Back to the Future is the same guy who ended up making Forrest Gump. And Forrest Gump was a really expensive movie to make, and they're like, we're going to put the money up for it. I don't, the person who, it was a woman who was really trying to pinch pennies and didn't want to spend $55 million to make, which actually in reference to the other films that were coming out that year that were big, it was one of the cheapest films that they made. So go figure. But she was a penny pincher, and it's like, why do you have to pinch so many pennies? I don't know. I don't get it. And yeah. So on that note, go watch Warrior. Go see Snake Eyes if you're vaccinated. Don't forget your mask. And because it's at movie theaters only. Go on Netflix to watch The Movies That Made Us. Don't buy this green mask stick. If you can find it, because it's very hard to find, pick up some Bobbi Brown hydra- hydrating face tonic, and have yourself the greatest afternoon.